Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Episode 112. We've got a huge one today. I'm very excited. Gab, how are you? How'd you sleep?
Mate, slept very well. You didn't, but I had boxing this morning, so that's always get to bed early and wake up early. So decent sleep. I think 7 hours of time asleep, and I'm feeling really good. How are you? How'd you sleep?
I'm very well. I'm very excited because we've got a huge guest today. I slept fantastically. Lucky Punch, Luke Gersbeck.
Yes, sir.
How are you, mate? How did you sleep?
Very well. I slept very well. I got boxing every morning, so I'm in bed by 9, and I'm lucky if I don't wake up to the night. I did wake up briefly, but I slept well. I feel good.
Mate, I'm so excited for today. So for those that don't know, Luke's been teaching us boxing with great difficulty.
It's a fun time.
It's a fun time. So we're down there at Chapel Boxing, and it's been incredible. But we want to get you on today. Like, you've got a lot coming up, some really exciting things, and you kind of personify everything we're about in regards to 9 to 5 fitness and how we train. Do you want to give us like a brief synopsis of who you are? You're a boxer. How old are you? Where are you from?
I'm 29, and so I've been boxing for about 11 years. Love it. Started doing taekwondo at a young age, around 5 years old. I was a little ADD kid and needed an outlet, so mum's put me into taekwondo. Did that for 8 years, travelled around Australia competing, went to Korea and did a bunch in taekwondo. Wanted to be a Power Ranger initially.
Obviously.
Yes, the red one, and to be exact. But from there, kind of fell in love with combat sports and competing in general, really. And picked up boxing when I was about 16. Went to an MMA gym and used my taekwondo. After about 3 months of training MMA, I jumped straight into an MMA fight. Just made it a taekwondo fight, kicked him in the head, and he took me down, and I choked him out. So that was a good win. And then I wanted to get my hands better from there. So I found boxing, and once I found boxing, I just fell in love with the sport, the tradition, the history of it, and my favourite.
Do you remember a time it like kind of clicked for you in your younger years, or was it always just like taekwondo? Right, I want to be a pro fighter.
Yeah, never clicked, and even to this day, things don't click. I'm just constantly just like going with the flow of things. I'm doing what I enjoy, and finding boxing and falling in love with boxing. You know, get to do what I enjoy every day. Now making a living from it. It's a blessing.
Has it always been like that for you? Like, have you always made a living out of boxing, or has it been kind of?
I think I got out of uni. I finished uni, and I got a full-time gig at Foot Locker, fresh out of uni.
Nice.
And did my head in. So I was standing in a retail store on Chapel Street, talking to all the colourful folk. So did my head in. So I had a mate at a boxing gym who I kind of got training with me, and he was like, "Why don't you come over to this gym and hold some pads, and you got a lot of boxing experience." And from there, I just found a way to monetize what I already knew. So I'm falling in love with teaching now. Obviously we started Chapel Boxing on Chapel Street, back on Chapel Street.
Yep.
In a church. So
in the church.
we're spreading the good word of boxing and sharing the love.
Yeah, well, I reckon like one of the best teachers I've ever had in any kind of sport realm. So we'll get into like your teaching stuff in a bit. First fight, what was it like?
First boxing fight or first fight?
Oh yeah, first boxing fight.
First boxing fight. I was excited. I stepped up. I was 17. I was fighting in the open, so fighting men as an older teen. I had a ball. Had a ball in my first fight. Didn't win it. I lost my first 2 of 3. And then went on to win 10 straight. So I had a lot of transferable skills from taekwondo, the distance and the timing and stuff like that. So, once I got comfortable in there, it helped me a lot.
Did you have anyone you like really looked up to? Were you, other than the Red Power Ranger, were you kind of like, I want to be Mike Tyson?
Roy Jones Jr. was one that I really liked. I liked that he rapped. He came out with a hot song, so it was just cool. Everyone had so much style in boxing, and especially the African American guys in the States. So yeah, a lot of those guys. Then obviously like getting into it, I found like you know, Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, all these guys. So
what, like the process of getting into boxing, I feel like you have to be like really nurtured through it. Like you can't just get thrown into the ring. We've been doing a bit of boxing, as you know, and we've been hitting the pads. Granted, we've done like 3 sessions, and that's all well and good hitting the pads. And then you put Gav and I in the ring the other day and said, just like tap each other's shoulders.
Yeah.
Everything went.
We
out
were
the
stressing
window.
so hard.
we were sprinting around.
Yeah.
How do you like nurture someone into being able to go into a ring and fight someone?
Oh, it's a bit of hype, isn't it? Like I remember, I've done multiple fight nights, corporate fight nights, where we get guys that have just walked in like yourselves up to the point where they're stepping in the ring, and yeah, you really have to coach them into it. You really have to, you know, nurture their mindset more than anything, because that's what goes first when you get in the ring. All the lights and the adrenaline, and you lose yourself, and everything you think about just goes out the window. So it makes it hard to put a punch or two together.
You probably get like that fight or flight mentality.
100% fight or flight every time you step in the ring, and then it's getting familiar with it. I don't think you can really, like, even to this day, I'm scared every time I walk in the ring, but I'm familiar with that feeling. So it's how I can kind of use that and use it to my advantage.
Yeah, I want to get into mindset in a second. I'd say the first thing that's like very mindset based would be getting your first hit to the head. Do you remember it? What's it like?
Oh, I remember getting floored, like my first hard hit to the head. I was very sheepish when I first started, had my chin up and, you know, using my feet to get out of the way a bit. But I remember when I first got clocked and my lights just went out. Can't really like remember the feeling so much, but I just remember waking up on the floor and being like, this is what we're doing. Where am I? First of all. Yeah.
Really?
So the first big hit's a bit of a shock. But then your face gets used to it.
That's the way. Like, I'm not looking forward to that. I'm gonna get it.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
I know you better be, mate. Help us through. Well, like mindset wise, do you do anything in your training to like improve your mindset?
A lot of meditation. Visualization comes with the territory, and you want to kind of see what you're going to do before you're going to do it, like with anything, you know. So yeah, you got to see it to believe it, to achieve it.
What's your technique with meditation? I'm right into it too. Louis, not so much. But do you use an app or completely unguided?
I started with an app. Where it just kind of played some soft sounds in the background, and you just kind of focus on your breath. But now I'm at a point where I can just kind of sit, find a quiet spot, and just go internal.
Yeah, that's my favorite too. Just sit there for 30 minutes is my one, and just let the conversations sort themselves out.
Yeah, just let them go, and just witness them. Yeah, it's powerful stuff.
You spoke about like visualization. Is that something you're doing like all throughout your training camp, or is it just?
Yeah, 100%. Always visualizing something. Like even now, getting closer to the fight, you've got your opponent sorted. You can see how they're moving, and you're just picturing yourself in the ring with them, and you know, maybe recalling other boxers that move similar, and what you did with them, and what worked with them and what didn't. So all of it is super helpful in terms of like getting into this position. So you can study some tape and visualize till the cows come home, and it'll just get you more and more prepared for when you step in that ring and, you know, have it in front of you.
Boxing, like such high contact. Did you ever have any pushback from friends and family when you said you become?
Oh yeah, Mum hates it to this day. Yeah, she doesn't. No way. And like if it's a big one and I could drag her down, she came to the Marvel Stadium fight, the George Kambosos undercard, and good thing she was sitting maybe 500 meters away from the ring. But yeah, she's just with her hand over her head, and she'd rather watch it through a screen than in real life. But yeah.
Do you say anything to settle her down, or is it?
Nah, G, you're up. No, come on, I'm cooked. That one hurt.
Yeah, that one really. I actually cried.
In terms of like the precautions taken for boxers nowadays, we were chatting before. Like my grandfather who's just passed away, featherweight champion of Australia back in the day, and like they would have had no protection. I'm pretty sure he had early onset dementia from it. Yeah. Nowadays there's a fair few more precautions.
For sure. Like back in the day they did it rough, and they were tougher back in the day as well. They had like little leather pieces of paper on their knuckles, the defense was definitely not what it is today. There's a whole art around defense now. You saw like guys come up in the 80s and 90s and this revolutionized the sport and where their defense now. Mayweather, like even more recently, no one could touch him.
He just skips around, doesn't he?
He just skips around. So, and he's fresh as a daisy at 50, So, you'd have him.
Can't run from me.
Yeah.
You've had some incredible opportunities with boxing along the way. Like you mentioned to me a while ago that you went overseas and fought. What's happened there?
So as my last year as an amateur, we went and did a bit of traveling. We went to Ukraine, we went to China, we went to all around Australia competing, which was unreal, great experience. And it's just funny because no matter where you are boxing, there's boxing, and it's just the different kind of styles of it all. It makes it really interesting, and styles make fights at the end of the day. So it's
Were there any particular stories you remember, like getting to the ring and be like, oh shit?
Yeah, well, I got knocked out in China.
That'll do it.
That was real fun.
What happened?
First round, I remember walking behind him on our way to the ring and thinking, Jesus, what are they feeding him? Because he was he had one eyebrow. He's a big mountain of a man. I think he was from mainland China too. So he was it was a different breed. And I got in the ring and he made short work of me. I was just kind of in awe. That was my first international comp, and first fight he come out and just caught me with the right hand on the eardrum and just like gave me a shot to the equilibrium. My lights went out for 2 seconds, woke up on the floor. Yeah. I've got a clip of it, so we'll feed that in. I just went stiff.
Oh, really? Is it
MMA stiff.
Thriller.
The thriller, literally. Yeah. It was a thriller.
What round was it?
It was round one. First punch, we felt each other out for about 30 seconds, and he just went pop.
Long flight home back from China?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was the first time I won money, actually, because I had a buy in the semis, so I went straight to the semis, and third place won like 500 US, which is unheard of in the amateur. So that was my first taste of money. So getting knocked out for money.
You take it, mate.
Take it.
Cash is cash.
If the money's right, I'll do most things. I'll do most things. Most.
Did you? Yeah. So like something like that, you can't see the punch coming. You can visualize what you
want.
Well,
they say you always want to keep your eyes on your opponent, and no matter even if it's a punch that you don't see that knocks you, right? So you break eye contact, and your body can't even brace for what's about to happen to you. Whereas even if you kind of got blurred vision through the guard, your body's kind of preparing itself and for the impact. Whereas if you're not looking,
game over.
No chance.
Yeah, like that. What about like setbacks throughout the process? You've come a long way. Like going overseas, obviously through Taekwondo and stuff. Has there been setbacks along the way, or has it been like a pretty linear career?
No, absolutely. Setbacks, injuries for the most part. You want to be fresh, and touch wood. I've been so lucky, considering my peers and guys around me that are going even harder than I am. And the track record they've had, but I've broken bones in my hand. That's about it. But even that, like they're your tools. So you damage your tools, and you can't. It really puts things on pause for you a bit. I think I had about 2 years where I only fought twice, just because I was dealing with issues and I couldn't train the way I wanted to train. So it teaches you a lot. Coach was always like, come in. There's a lot you can do around injuries and stuff like that. So I'll take my hat off to those guys, just staying disciplined while they're injured, staying in the gym, staying active. And I think it speeds up your recovery process. Yeah,
well, so that's like your process, getting through it, staying active and trying to be around it more?
Yeah, trying to there's so many things you could do. Other sports you could take up that will help you, that'll help your skills develop. And it's just not letting that injury defeat you and use it as an excuse to sit on your butt and get fat.
Your relation, don't get fat.
Don't get fat.
Could go up a weight class.
Could go up a weight class. Could go up 2 weight classes.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Like relationships with coaches and stuff. I'd imagine it's incredibly important. Have you had like the same coach since early days, and you worked through together?
Yeah, that's funny. I've had my coach that I'm with now. I've been with him for maybe 12 years, but 2019 we had a little few issues, I'd say. And after being with him for close to 10 years, I had to part ways with him just to make things a little bit easier for us both. And that was like breaking up with my dad, or like big brother, coach. It was a lot. They're pretty important figures in your life when you're training every day. You're seeing them every day. You're seeing them more than your parents sometimes. And they're picking you up, and they get to see all sides of you as well. When you're grumpy, when you don't believe in yourself, when you're cocky, all these little colors of your personality come out, and you build a pretty special relationship with them.
Do you do any coaching yourself other than like obvious stuff at like where we are, which is like more class based?
I'm more class based. I do one-on-one coaching and stuff like that as well down at Chapel Boxing, but training fighters is different. When it's an emotional roller coaster when you're getting in the ring every so often, and even the type of training that it takes. I see my clients maybe once, twice, 3 times a week max. So I'm kind of we do some work and then I get to go home, but you constantly when you're coaching fighters, it takes a lot for sure.
Fitness machine. I saw you just ran 20Ks at a 4:30 pace.
Yeah, inspired by you.
No, that's fine. Like to just go out and do that, that's so impressive. I think a lot of people know like a boxer is like a pinnacle in fitness. Like it's pretty high up. What does your training look like? What does it look like for now? You've got a fight coming up, obviously, which we're going to get to in a second. But like generally speaking, let's say just before you're getting into a training camp. Just before? Yeah. Like what are you doing to maintain?
I mean, boxing as much as you can, but I guess before camp, if I've got nothing on the horizon, I'm staying like you stay ready in boxing, because you never know when an opportunity could come knocking at your door. Some guy pulls out, some guy gets injured, and you get the late call up for a huge opportunity. So you want to stay as ready as possible. But boxing 5 times a week, ideally, even outside of camp. And then when camp starts, that's when you start adding the secondary sessions, the recovery sessions, the cardio sessions, the weight sessions. So this camp I've really focused on weight training, because I've never actually, done it consistently, and it's been great for my body, even just recovery and stuff like that. And it's nothing crazy as well, like just your standard, just lifting weights, 3 times a week is just is great.
What kind of movements are we talking?
Just compound lifts and single leg stuff, and bit of mobility, bit of stability, lots of core, but like plyometrics and stuff as well. But even just getting that base right, just your deads, your squats, your chest, like your body thanks you. And there's a lot of guys talk about boxing is very pec heavy. You're very rounded. Everything's in front of you. So getting your back in order, getting that straight, just saves my back. I've had back issues pretty consistently, and lifting weights has saved that for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how much plyometrics are actually in boxing. Like, just skipping alone, it's like one of the most basic forms of plyometrics. And it is like literally all just, you're on your toes the whole time. Like, it's all your arch strength and all of that. Do you guys do a lot of like neck work as well?
A lot of neck work. But footwork is absolutely key for sure. A lot of guys, when I first start taking them on the pads and stuff, that's the first thing I'll show them is how to move your feet, and how to transfer your weight, and you need your feet for that. So a lot of sore arches, ankles, Achilles and stuff like that, muscles you didn't know
that's
you
what
had.
I noticed the most.
Wakes it all up.
Yeah, so you're in full flight training camp at the moment.
Yes.
What's a day or a week look like for you?
In terms of training?
Yeah, in terms of training, like, I mean, you're dedicating your whole time to it.
Yeah.
What time are you up? Like, are you into, a run or?
Yeah, so this whole camp has been a bit full on, just considering we've just opened a gym. So I'm up 5 a.m. every morning to get to the gym. I'll do my classes and stuff like that, take my clients, and then jet to the city where I train for myself. Go about an hour and a half. At 12 o'clock each day, and then depending on what day it is, I'll come back in the afternoon and maybe either go for a run or do my weights, and then back at the gym to take the afternoon classes. So
have you ever found like struggles in discipline for yourself with that, like 5 a.m. every day? Surely you weren't always like that.
no, that it builds. You build that up for sure. Like even starting at the gym, you know, first was 3 days a week, then it was 4, then it was 5, and now I'm even on a day off, I'm up at like, you know, sleeping past 7 a.m. is luxury for me.
Man.
Yeah, so it's and then my weekends are just filled with sleeping and eating. Yeah, which is great. I love it.
Yeah, mate, me too.
Yeah.
I don't know, but what's your diet like? Are you cutting? Are you bulking? How are you saying?
I'm keeping it clean, and I'm you know, trying to stay as lean as you can. But obviously, you know, I do a lot of cardio, so boxing and running, it just falls off you. So trying to get proper intake is another thing as well, like being busy at work and then training all the time. I found out like maybe 3 weeks ago I was under eating, and I was feeling it. I was feeling it in my sleep. My body was waking up stiffer. So just increasing the calories, which I see you boys do, which I really rate. Just your protein intake and stuff like that, has been a game changer.
What do your meals look like on a daily basis?
I normally skip breakfast. I'm normally busy, so I'm pumping myself full of coffee from 5:30, which isn't great. But I just introduced a little breakfast meal, whether it be before training, having a little protein shake, bit of honey, you know, banana, fruit and stuff like that. Even just like some muesli, overnight oats and stuff, just to get me going. And that just gives me juice for the remainder of the day. And then post training, I'll always have a protein shake, and now I'm adding a small meal. You know, I'm lucky enough to be on board with Fed. So they're a really good meal prep.
It's so good.
Shout outs to Fed. They're it's just super fresh, super easy.
Yeah, only issue with them is they're so delicious that you inhale it. Like they're the best. Like they're seriously, the most gourmet out of all of them.
Fresh, right? Yeah. I definitely feel that. But it's just so easy. Like getting home after a long day of training, you don't want to cook. Yeah. So having the meal preps, that's another game changer.
What are you like identifying as the hardest part of your training, like especially the training camp? For me, it would be like missing out on events, or like, you know, obviously like not drinking on the weekends and stuff. Do you struggle with any of that?
Nah, not even. I used to be a bit of a, like, I love a party, but I used to be, when I have a job to do, when there's something in front of me, I'm all in, and you know, getting an opponent and stuff like that, and getting closer to a fight. That's all the motivation you need, you know.
Not getting knocked out.
Yeah. You don't want to be at the party.
Rawest form of fucking motivation is stepping in a ring with someone.
Were there any, like, I'm sure there were, like a Mike Tyson, was he a big partier back in the day?
Oh, I think they all are. They all are. And like,
it's part of the mentality, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly, you know, work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, there's that you see a lot of boxers, they finish their careers and they just bang 20 kilos overweight.
Yeah.
Unhealthy as hell, you know. Just that, I guess it's all athletes, right? When you put yourself through that much torture, all that discipline that comes out the other way.
It's kind of that all or nothing mindset, isn't it? It's like all in on the boxing, but then when boxing starts, all in on partying or whatever you want. Yeah,
no, definitely. My career was definitely slowed for that reason. That coming up as an amateur, you know, I'd train hard for, you know, a month, get in the ring, and then play hard for a month. So learn to iron those little kinks out and get a bit more consistent, get a bit more disciplined, and you know, picking your battles.
Yeah, pick your battles. Just like on the learning thing, have you learned over time, or have you spotted kinks in like your training in the past that you're ironing out now, or even at the moment? Do you look back through a week and go, I could have done this better? If so, what?
Recovery, 100%.
It's always recovery.
Recovery, 100%. Even now, the eating thing and the weight training thing, all parts of my boxing that I don't really pay too much attention to, because when I was a bit younger, I was bouncing back too quick, and you know, I was just focusing on cardio, getting cardiovascular fit, and then my boxing, and that really helped. But now it's all about, you know, performance and getting stronger and faster, doing those 1%ers, like in the gym, and in recoveries is a must now. You know, fell in love with the reformer. Love reformer Pilates.
Interesting.
Huge, big on reformer, just in terms of activation and mobility. Not a massive fan of the fitness reformer classes that you get somewhere, but clinical Pilates, godsend.
Interesting.
And treatment and massage,
Yeah.
like just nothing beats it. Like, once a week if I can, getting hands on and just getting touched up.
It's crazy how many like athletes we've had on this podcast and other podcasts where it's like, oh, what are you missing, or what can you identify as a gap in your training? And it is always recovery. I'd be the exact same. It's recovery. Like on a rest day, you're out doing something. It's so obvious, but it's so hard to do because you always feel like you can do more.
Yeah,
and it's often not in regards.
It's
to
like
recovery.
on TikTok when you see one of Christian Petrarca's rest days come up and it's more active than our training days. He's doing 5 different things: reform, Pilates, osteo, this and that.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
stack your rest days.
I want to know, do you take any supplements like to aid your recovery as a boxer?
Nah, I've never really, I've dabbled in supplements and stuff, but I've recently just found magnesium gummies,
Yeah.
and I swear, I love them.
They're yummy. It's
They're
like a lolly
yummy.
that's calorie
They're like, take
efficient.
2 a day. I'm like 10. I eat a handful of them.
Yeah.
Like, just keep loving them. And my body's actually responded so well to that. I was told from day one by dietitians and stuff, magnesium. And now I've got it in a nice form. It always gave me the runs. Magnesium.
Oh,
so
really?
the powder always kind of gave me the runs, and I was like, nah.
Chewy.
Yeah, I like the gummies because I guess you just dose it right.
Yeah,
You know?
it's a bit easier on the guts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can kind of wake up a bit like lethargic if I have too much magnesium. I find
Really?
like I'm
Yeah.
a bit groggy.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's like soothes the muscles, I believe. Like if you saw it helps with that.
Yeah, keeps me asleep,
Yep.
across the night, which is, so important.
Pretty important. Yeah, you need to sleep. Gab, we got to keep a roof over our head.
Yep. Which one are we doing first? NTF?
Let's do NTF. Yeah.
Yeah, so when this podcast is out, we would have done a very big apparel drop for these singlets here. We got a bunch of colorways.
Very
If I had
nice.
any of them, I would have got you one. But they're like the most colorful singlets ever. I'll get one sent down to you. And
Please.
they haven't been in stock for so long. So yeah, the drop already would have happened. It's probably sold out. We'll try to get more in if you missed out. But like you snooze, you lose on this. Like you guys should know by now. And hopefully use code podcast as well for this one and any upcoming drops. Keep your eyes on the socials this Thursday because there might be something extra release there. But yeah, the apparel's going absolutely fire at the moment. We will have some heavyweight pump covers, some heavyweight tees that are inspired by the podcast. We got all your favourite sayings. We got Gab and Louie on the back of it. So keep your eyes peeled for the podcast merch. You guys will be the first to know about it, get your hands on it. I think we've always wanted to do podcast merch, so this should be pretty cool. We'll be wearing it. We'll keep you warm this winter, and they got a code they can use as well.
Use code podcast.
Yep.
Great work, mate. You're getting better at that every
Yeah.
week.
Nailed
Thank
it.
Nailed it. Great work. Luke, I'd say you are probably the best teacher I've ever had in regards to a sport. I've never found a sport more difficult than boxing. I would say you and I, Gab, would be pretty good at picking up anything that's relatively athletic.
Pretty humbling.
And I feel like a cow with a gun. But you've been incredible at actually teaching it.
Appreciate that.
Not only for visual learners, but for more like analytical learners like Gab. And I wanted to know, like, teaching, is that something you've put emphasis on? Have you done much in that realm, or has it just been a natural thing you've kind of picked up along the way?
No, it's just something I enjoy, really. And I guess, if you're passionate about something, it comes through that way. I'm passionate about both boxing and sharing it with people. I love when guys get that aha moment, that's what he's talking about.
Yep.
So I chase those. And obviously I've been coached my whole life as well. So I know what I respond well to. And yeah, I feel like the best way to coach is, not everything, there's 1,000,001 ways to coach something. And if you can, hit a lot of them, chances are one of them is going to stick, one of them is going to get you. So just being able to kind of communicate it, the one thing that you're trying to communicate, being able to communicate that in a multitude of ways and letting someone, work it out themselves as well.
And like the process over time of teaching, obviously doing like group classes is a bit more difficult to get around to each individual, but you do like very well at it. Are there specific things you look for as a boxing coach that are going to kind of make that click? Or as you said, like in one of our boxing sessions, like find the diamonds?
In terms of the group class?
Yeah, well, both.
Both?
Like what is it that you find with an individual is going to like help them learn a lot quicker? Like, what are you doing necessarily?
I guess one-on-one attention, and it's definitely, you see your progress shoot through the roof. So definitely, if you're into any kind of sport, into any kind of activity where you're learning, getting that one-on-one attention is a must. Like you'll progress way quicker. Like having you three boys, like a 3-on-1 kind of situation where it's more of a class-based session. It's hard. Yeah. It's hard because you're trying to, you're not all at the same speed. You got to slow it down for some and speed it up for others. But having that one-on-one, you can kind of get in the mood a little bit. The chemistry between the coach and the athlete, you kind of ride that, and you kind of need to slow it down. You need more visual. You need more more detail about why you're doing something. So yeah, that one-on-one attention is definitely the way to go.
What are you finding, Gab, the hardest part about boxing? Like what areas?
I'd say, I don't know, like the straight punches are pretty straightforward. Like I think I'm getting the hang of them, but definitely like the techniques for like the hook and whatnot. And also just like, I know it's about like, I know I'm very like uptight and whatnot in the upper body, and it's all about like being loose and like fluid and having that rhythm more than, because I've probably got like a lot of power but no technique, and I just need to learn to really loosen that up. I
think that's a big one for bigger guys as well, or guys in general, that have got strength. The thing about boxing is it's such a full body thing, and it's more of a movement and a control that you need, and a sequence, like that kinetic chain to develop power from the floor. What a lot of stronger guys get stuck on is that power production, and they're using their
big
haymakers from way back when. Especially you see a lot of AFL guys that come in super stiff, and then trying to teach them to loosen up is like the biggest thing. And
what are you finding hard, Louis?
Yeah, I find like all of it. It's all really first and foremost. But like I'll be boxing, and then my feet are still where I started with. It's like you forget to move your feet, and that's like, and then you like in the weirdest position. I'm also finding like recovery wise, my lats are killing me. I finished. I was hitting your stomach the other day. You had one of the big pads on. We were doing like 4 and 5 or something, or 3. Anyway, whatever.
The numbers, you got it.
Anyway, and like as hard as I could into your guts. And my arms, like my forearms are still sore, and they were like shaking after it. So I found that like really difficult, but it will get there, like the muscle memory.
And it's like you think you're doing everything right, and then you notice your guard's not up. It's like there's always something that's not right. There's like so many things you have to focus on at the start.
It's such a full body kind of experience.
And then you chuck it into the ring, and sometimes you'll go into a ring, you'll finish 4-round fight, and you come back out, and you'll be sore in places that like incredibly sore, like not muscular fatigue, but like impact fatigue, like ribs and your neck, the strain on your neck from copping those shots, and that's some crazy fatigue as well.
Bugger that. What would you recommend for people who are wanting to start out with boxing? I personally remember talking to Gab about it for ages before we got in contact with the chapel. Was like, we want to get into boxing, but I just like don't know how to start. Like I wouldn't even have a clue. Obviously, they should come to chapel.
Come to chapel boxing.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get you started.
Yeah.
I mean, you just gotta rock up. You just kind of gotta swallow the pill and realize that, hey, I might be shit at this, and just get going, get started, get stuck in. And you often find, especially with boxing, it's such a practice makes perfect kind of sport, and you can focus on one thing, one class, and then you might be stuck on it, and you come back the next class and it starts feeling a little better, and then you're getting addicted to that feeling. And that's exactly what happened to me. I was like, all right, cool, I got that down pat, and then next starts, that needs work, and then you just kind of build this, and then next thing you know, it's been 12 years and you're moving like you do.
I think we're getting it like that addiction phase now, Louis, where we're like, we want to keep going, keep getting better, because for me it probably doesn't look like it to you, but I feel like I'm so like, if I was
You
to
come
get
a
into
long
bit
way
of
in 3 sessions.
a scrapping, on the street, I had to defend my missus or something. I feel like I'm a little bit more
Capable.
like equipped now. I
Yeah.
feel like I at least know how to, throw a punch or two if I need to.
Yeah, just a quick one to the chin.
Yeah.
Just
and
end
get
it.
out of there.
Just run.
We've always said we won our last fight by 50 meters, but
Yeah.
Gab, you know what? We might win it by a 1-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
We
you,
don't condone fighting.
this is, I know like
No.
martial artists and stuff, it's an art form and you never want to have to use it in real life unless you're doing it for the wrong reasons and you're a real hothead, which I think you'd kind of get kicked out of the community.
Yeah, don't come to chapel boxing.
Yeah, like I don't think that's why anyone who's good at martial arts does it. But one, have you ever been in a situation where you do have to defend yourself? And two, do you feel like confident if anything, you have to protect your loved ones in that sense?
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think even I'm the biggest advocate for getting the young ones into a combat sports like karate or taekwondo. It's like a lot of people do it. It's pretty common, but growing up as a teenager, I went to an all boys school, and a lot of male testosterone, a lot of guys trying to prove themselves and pick on and bully and stuff. But for some reason, and I always wondered about this, and I can only really trace it back to being involved in martial arts as a kid. I never got picked on. I never got picked on, and I wasn't necessarily I was a fun ADD kid, look at me, I love the attention, but I had guys that I was friends with that would just get singled out every time, by another group of boys, and you don't, I just kind of never, we'd always end up having to bail him out, or but yeah, I was just lucky enough to never have been one to mess with. Not for them knowing that I knew what to do, but maybe it was the way I carried myself or the confidence or something like that. But it's funny, like I could count how many street fights I've been on one hand, and all of those circumstances have been group situations where, the wrong person has said the wrong thing to the wrong person, and we've got into it and never thrown a malicious punch outside of the ring. So I'm sticking to that. Like, I'm not trying to hurt anyone outside. I'm trying to, look after my friends, of course, like in these group situations, potentially been outnumbered and guys on the floor in not favorable positions, and I've maybe had to get them out of those positions. But yeah, that's as far as street fighting goes. I'm anti-street fighting for sure.
In terms of like self-defense and whatnot, I know there's a lot of different forms of martial arts, but what if like the sole purpose was to defend yourself? What would you say? I think boxing is like pretty practical. Probably kickboxing would be up there. I tried like jiu-jitsu. I feel like when you're on the ground, it might seem impractical, but some argue that like all fights end on the ground. If you were to pick one just purely from a self-defense perspective, what would be, whether it's like 3 or just one that's clearly above the rest?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I'd say boxing, I'm a bit biased to, but yeah, because you can do a lot of damage with a fist, and if you need to, a quick one can be a savior. But if not boxing, probably jiu-jitsu is more safe, because you would get close, and there it is often how to grapple, and you see like even just a little choker hold or something like that, could kind of completely disable someone and just put them out to sleep. So
you mentioned in your first fight that you choked the guy out. Did you do a bit of jiu-jitsu?
That was just watching the UFC.
Yeah.
That was literally some backyard jiu-jitsu, wrestling with mates, and I learned how to guillotine choke, and as he took me down, just sunk it in, and it was much
pretty
easier
cool
to finish.
I like jiu-jitsu because it combines like it's like submissions and wrestling. I really like the wrestling aspect to it too.
100%.
It's like you got the ground, and then you got the above. The above is like taking them down and whatnot, and then you got to submit them.
And you think it's a little bit safer, jiu-jitsu as well. You're not worrying about arms and limbs and legs flying at you and stuff like that. So you can kind of grab someone and feel their limbs, and then when you know what you're doing, you can really kind of...
There's something primitive about wrestling another man for some reason.
100%.
It's like a good feeling.
100%, yeah. When you're growing up, Like I was always wanting to have a brother, just so I could just
I
wrestle
doing
him,
that with my
you know?
brother. Yeah.
The armbar.
Yeah, just
Get the legs.
little crash test dummy, you know. And you always knew the boys that had older brothers because they were all rough as guts. They were all like ballsy
wasn't us,
football
mate.
players. And, yeah, nah, me either. I had a sister. I was like, nah, what are you talking about?
I think I tried to fight her a few times when we were young. She always won.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to punch on with my sister. My sister taught me everything I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight up. 2 years older than me. She had that size advantage.
Same.
Had the nails and the
ruined
dirty
that.
tactics.
Yeah, haven't forgotten, mate. It's
Traumatizing.
Literally. Now, I want to get into the big fight that's coming up. But first, Gav, we've got to keep a roof over our head as per second time.
Yeah,
Who you want first?
You know what? I was running a 10K the other day, not
Yep.
quite a 20K at your pace, but I was happy with it. And I was telling myself in my head, you're a Whoop sponsored athlete. How many people are sponsored by Whoop?
Not many.
Mate, you should feel damn proud, and that is why I somehow just redlined myself for 10 kilometers and just on the pure motivation that I am sponsored by Whoop. You're also sponsored by Whoop.
Yeah.
I'm so happy because that is like a dream
Hey,
partnership.
Whoop. What's up?
Yeah. Hit up our boy Luke.
Yeah. There you go.
Literally.
So,
Literally.
like, it is probably the best investment you can make into yourself. Like, it keeps you so accountable. Probably the best health tracker on the market.
Is that your whip there?
It is. I've got
That's
a cool little brand on it.
stylized.
People were asking me,
Wow. Okay.
what would you recommend, Oura Ring or Whoop? Why would I want to wear a ring when I'm lifting weights? It just seems a little bit different. You can put the Whoop in, when you're doing boxing,
Yes,
you can
I've
put it
seen
in your
that.
underpants.
It's very good.
It's game changing. It's honestly been unreal. I love.
How do you find the underpants Whoop compared to the wrist Whoop?
Yeah, good. Like
all
it's-
tracks the same.
It's
Because it's pinned onto your hip. Like, it's so
right.
It's picking it all up. So we got like boxers, which are like underpants, and then we got shorts as well if we need them, which have like skins in them. Obviously the wrist thing as well. Like I love wearing the wrist because you can like see it like throughout the day, like it looks cool, bit of fashion. But the boxers are unreal for actually like boxing and.
You know what? Side note, the boxers are the only underwear I can wear where I don't chafe on a run because my legs are just rubbing together for 10 kilometers. Whereas
big
these are like,
thighs.
they actually help so much. So if you get Whoop, make sure you get the boxers as well if you have big legs. And you guys have a bit of a choice to make here. Louis and I both have our own separate affiliate links. So you need to decide who you like more and who you're going to support. The benefit's the same to you. You get it cheaper, but you can pick who you want to support. We both had...
Is it Louis or is it Gab?
There we go.
We both had so many people sign up using our code. It's incredible. So thank you guys for your support. But we're moving on to Manscaped now.
Yeah, Manscaped. Love Manscaped. They've supported us since day one, mate. I love the Lawnmower 4.0.
Yeah, I love it too. I've been growing a bit of a beard, and I don't think the Manscaped beard trimmer is out in Australia yet. So what I do is I get the comb, and I just get the Manscaped, and I just line it up on the beard like that.
Yeah.
And it's good for the beard.
If you guys want to pick anything up from Manscaped, you can use code NTF, get 20% off and free shipping.
Yep, fantastic.
Luke, you've got a big fight coming up, mate.
Yes, sir.
That's exciting.
It's exciting.
Give us who, what, and when.
So, my opponent's Jack Moore. He's a country kid from Yarrawonga.
Never liked him.
No, we're off him. I'd have him.
So he's had 6 fights. He's been in there with some good guys. And yeah, May 24th, Margaret Court Arena. I'm going to be one of those good guys.
That's unreal.
Yeah. Big stadium show. Stadiums only.
Stadiums only. You don't get out of bed for less than 10 grand.
Yes, I need as many eyes as I can on me.
Yeah. Well, that's
helps.
That's what we want to talk about. So yeah, go on, Gab.
No, I want to know. What are the characteristics of this bloke? How does he match up to you?
In terms of what size and
size, reach,
yeah.
what are we talking?
I've seen his last fight and he loves it in the middle. He loves to come forward, loves pressure. He's a big puncher. He's a tough kid from the country. You know? So
seen some shit.
That's what we love. I love that, and that's I'm looking to meet him in the middle and duke it out and give a entertaining fight. So I'm pretty brazen in there. As if anyone's seen me fight before, I throw caution to the wind and I just think about inflicting as much damage as I can. Get lost in the moment a little bit, but I'm feeling really good. My prep's been really great, and I think this is going to be my best performance yet for sure.
Who's the what's it called when you have is it the main event?
Main event, yeah. So Big Joe Parker has been training with the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, out in his camps and stuff. So he's one of the best guys to come out of Australia and New Zealand in a while. So he's going to be putting on a big show against another tough Kiwi guy who's just a monster of a man. No neck, just like eats him and throws him, and it's going to be an exciting fight. Yeah. It's going to be a huge card.
Yeah, huge card.
Tim Zoo's brother, Nikita Zoo's on it also, fighting Ben Bomber. So that's a Australian best fight there, just there. So
hats off to anyone that gets in the ring with you, mate. You'll kill it.
Scary.
Yeah, that's actually scary. So what, like, do you know what time you're fighting and stuff? Like, is it?
Nah, not too many details. Not too many details. But if I got a link up in my bio, Lucky Punch on Instagram. So you can go and grab a ticket there. Would mean the world. And yeah, other than that, I'm getting t-shirts. I've also got Lucky Punch t-shirts. Following suit, boys.
Yeah.
So I've got them going live soon. Little redrop, and you can come buy a t-shirt and support the journey. That'd be amazing.
That's awesome. I'm so keen. We're going to be there.
Yeah, we should bring a sign. What should it say?
Yes.
Or will that be a surprise?
Yeah, that'll be a surprise.
Yes.
But everyone has
Make
to
it
get
big.
down. Everyone who's listening to this podcast, you better get down.
You
We're
gotta
going to get a t-shirt as well.
Yes.
We're
Head
gonna
to the link in my bio.
link in Luke's bio.
Yeah, I want to know though, like your fight's really good and stuff, but what do you think about, the social media stars and Jake Paul and Logan Paul doing boxing? Personally, I wouldn't go in the fight with Jake Paul. He'd crunch me.
Well, that's the thing about Jake Paul, because he's made his name off YouTube and stuff like that, but he's training like a professional fighter, and his progress that you see from fight 1 to his last fight, it's just as good as any pro fighter. So he's in the gym doing the work, and he's got all the best guys because he's got the platform, and he can call up whoever he had in his corner.
He beat Tommy Fury, didn't he? Or what was it?
Tommy Fury won.
Tommy Fury just won, yeah. But I mean, same thing. I guess it's a reality TV against a YouTuber. It's like if Gab and Louis stepped in the ring.
Well, that was going to be a further question. I think maybe not Louis and I first, but
Let's make it happen.
I'm going to start calling.
Start calling out other YouTubers.
No, 10 more sessions, and mate, I'm having you in my corner.
Oh, done.
I've got names I want to call
You've got
out.
the platform now. You can do it. Let's go.
Do you know who KSI is?
Yeah, I know KSI.
Do you reckon you'd have him in a
100%?
Yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
Round 1?
I reckon I could get you to take him. Let's do that. Let's call out KSI.
Let's call him out.
That's my career there.
Get him to Oz. Get him to Oz, and we'll do it.
I've got a few people in Australia I want to call out. I think everyone who's listening knows who I want to call out. 10 more sessions and I'm ready.
Go on. Yeah.
I'm putting them.
We won't say it yet. We won't say it yet, but you know who they are.
So, for a social media one, you probably want headgear, wouldn't you? You wouldn't.
Nah, come on.
I mean, up to you.
Yeah. What's going to sell more tickets?
We don't wear headgear, no. And they took it out of the amateur comp, so yeah, headgear is almost a thing of the past. But when we're sparring and when we're in training and stuff, it's always a must. It stops you from getting the superficial markings like cuts and stuff like that, head clashes. Cauliflower ear.
That'd look tough on me.
I kind of want it.
Yeah.
I'd look like
I got a
Khabib.
little one.
Yeah.
It's still cute though.
Do you drain it or?
No, I didn't drain it. And I think that might be the tip. I'm not sure. I can't stand by that, but I know a lot of wrestlers and stuff like jiu-jitsu guys, they always go straight to draining it out, but it just looks more fucked up than it does.
Unreal.
Can I swear on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. It just looks way worse. And I didn't touch mine. I just let it sit there, and it kind of went down slowly, came back up, went down slowly, then hardened, and
And
that's
Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
That'd be good as I reckon if we did like a YouTube video where we did a fight and maybe headgear or something, all the safety precautions. There won't be much hate in it, which is the issue, but we'll want to compete obviously. But
100%.
would you do like a social media fight like that?
Oh yeah, like with the boys.
Yeah.
And then I just want to get good before I call someone out.
And then
really
it's
good. Game
Yeah.
on.
We'll say we're doing like 1 session a week, but secretly we'll be doing 7
And all
at our home gym with Luke.
And all the videos we upload are really slow.
Yeah.
Couldn't fight a cold.
Couldn't fight a cold.
Have you had many people in your DMs telling you how bad you are?
No, it's actually been pretty supportive.
Yeah.
He's got the nice DM, he's got the bad DM.
No. After I said, mate, I don't go to the gym and say your bench press is abysmal. You're overweight. You look like. I just said, mate, give me a break. This is my second lesson. From there, everyone's actually been pretty good about it.
Cool.
I had one guy make a literal TikTok about me saying how bad I am. He's screen recorded my story and was just telling me how bad I am, and all the comments were just roasting me, and I was just like, block.
Wow.
How do people get a
I was
kick
like,
out
bro.
of this shit?
I don't have I'm not like, I've got a TikTok, and I posted a TikTok, and it didn't go as planned, and I got all these negative comments on it. And what do you do about negative comments on TikTok?
Block.
Block, delete.
Yeah, block, delete.
Yeah.
I got a zero
No hate.
tolerance policy personally.
Yeah.
You
It's
never
got to
get
be
rid-
positive chat, or there's going to be no chat
Yeah.
at all.
You'd rather no comments than
I just don't
10,000
need that
comments.
negative energy, because
Yeah.
it does affect me and it puts me in that mindset. Whereas I'd rather just people be bringing each other up.
100%.
Because reality is they're just like some sad little dweeb typing comments who's unhappy with their own life. And we don't
Absolutely.
need that to spread.
Absolutely.
I've got 2 questions left for the big fight.
Yes.
The walkout.
The walkout.
Are you able to release kind of what goes on?
That's under wraps.
Under
That's
wraps?
under wraps.
What happened
You're gonna
in
have to
previous?
see. Previous, I remember my walkout at Marvel. That was just I saw, as soon as the camera came on, I saw my face up on the jumbo screen at Marvel, and I was like, "Fuck yes!" I was like, "I'm here," and I just got lost in it. And the song came on, and just did my little dance and ran up, and it's an exciting time walking out to a fight and just having your moment, you know. And you just want to relish in it. You just want to take it all in and enjoy it. I love it, and you can kind of see, you know, just how much I enjoy it. I just got a big smile on my face, and I'm just loving every minute. Some guys come out very serious and stuff like that, or they'll pick a dark song or an emotional song, like Ryan Garcia. You hear his song he come out to?
No, what did he come out to?
What did he come out to? It was like a very soft, sad.
Was it
like,
some Mexican music or?
No, it was like
Lana Del Rey song,
Lana
something.
Del Rey. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
proper emotional.
What did you think of Gervonta Davis? Floyd Mayweather in his corner, and then he's got Chief Keef literally lip
Game
syncing,
over.
bringing him out. Like,
Game
how can you
over.
lose a fight? Did you get
Game
goosebumps
over.
watching that?
Absolutely. When Chief Keef came out, I was like, no way. Like, back from the dead.
Yeah,
like,
bro, that was
only
insane.
Javonte Davis can bring Chief Keef out. So,
Get 360 or something to come out.
yeah,
That'd be
literally.
sick.
Yeah.
Kid Leroy.
Kid Leroy,
Let's do
that'd
it.
be cool.
go.
I'll get someone just to impersonate Little Uzi Vert, just like.
Are you a
come
fan
out.
of him?
I love Little
Yeah,
Uzi.
he's
Yeah,
sick.
100%.
What was your next question, Lou?
The after party. Is that like a thing?
Absolutely.
Do
Probably
people-
go for 2 weeks after.
it's a 2 weeks.
Just be a consistent thing. But no, after party. Yeah, more details to come on the after party.
Yeah.
Emerson.
But yeah, Emerson on Saturday night. I've been there. I'm way too old for there, but I've been there.
It'll do, mate. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But yeah, details of the after party to come for sure. We'll do something.
Yeah, can.
Yeah.
I'm ready to run through a brick wall after that. I want to do that many. I'm lucky we have boxing booked in tomorrow morning, Lou,
Yeah,
because
no.
I want to punch the lights out of that bag.
Let's go.
We're gonna-
Let's
we're gonna
go.
do it.
Energy.
Okay. Mate, thank you so much for coming
My
on.
pleasure. Thank you so much
This
for
is such a
having
fun
me.
podcast. I think we learn a lot. And if people want to support you, what can they do? Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram's probably the best bet. I'm there too much. Got tickets to my next fight. Link in the bio. All those ticket purchases through that, they kind of go and help me out. And
Cool.
our goal is to get bums on seats. So if you can hit the link in my bio, purchase your ticket to May 24th, Margaret Court Arena.
Yep. So it's Lucky Punch
Lucky
on
Punch.
Instagram. We'll be jaying it up, and we should be there.
Can't wait to get down.
Thank you, boys.
Thanks for listening,
Awesome.
guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Appreciate.